to Gabbin with Jessa. Today I'm going to be talking about all of the Oscar nominations that have just recently come out. And what I think, but I don't really have a lot of opinions because I didn't see a lot in 2020. And then what I'm going to do. I have a fun thing that I'm hoping to do with it. So yeah, let's get started. So we all know that 2020 was a really interesting year, especially for movies, and as an avid moviegoer myself, I have AMC Movie Pass on the A-list or whatever. I would go literally 3 times a week, because that's how many times I could go. So I would try to see every movie that I could. And on Fridays, I worked like the morning shift, so I would get out by like 6, 7 o'clock. And so I always was going Friday nights too, like it was a typical date night kind of thing. And the last movie that I saw in theaters wasn't Onward, that was one of the last ones, was The Hunt with Hilary Swank in it. So that was the very last movie I saw. It literally was like right before everything started, like that Friday before, because I wasn't going to work the next Monday, so that is everything that happened then. So I didn't get to see a lot of movies, and I missed out on some of the ones that came out earlier in the year too, and that really stinks. So I am going to just list off all of the categories, who won or was nominated, and then just have fun with an activity that I want to do. So I got all of them written down here, so let's get started. For, of course, the main category, we have Best Picture, and we have 8 nominees this year, which are The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and the Trial of the Chicago 7. I have not seen any of these, and I know that some of these, like the Chicago 7 one or Mank, are out on Netflix and things like that, but I don't know, just during this time, I didn't really feel like watching anything new. I don't know why, I just was uninspired to. And so I didn't get to see any of these movies. And I know that some of them are out now, and hopefully I'll get around to watching them before the Oscars, because I would like to make some good predictions. Because last year I saw I did see all the movies at least nominated for Best Picture, and I was so proud of myself. Next, for Best Director, we have Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman, David Fincher for Mank, that's no surprise there, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round. And I was really surprised because I did not see Alan Sorkin on this list, because he did the Trial of the Chicago 7. He was nominated for Best Director for the Golden Globe, and I really thought that he was going to be nominated for this. It just seemed like an obvious choice. I mean, it's Aaron Sorkin, come on, like, obviously, and then he's not, and that really surprised me. For Best Actor in a Leading Role, we have Riz Ahmed for The Sound of Metal. I haven't really heard much about this movie, The Sound of Metal, and I really want to check it out. We have Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, and Steven Yeun for Minari. These are no surprise here. I'm really glad that Chadwick Boseman is getting some recognition, because he has played many great people in the past, and of course he came to recognition for his role as a Black Panther, and it's really sad to see his wife got his acceptance for Best Actor. She accepted it on his behalf, and she was so sad and just crying the whole time, and it broke my heart, and I really hope that he wins this. Again, I haven't seen the movie. I know it's on Netflix, so I really want to get around to seeing it. For Best Actress in a Leading Role, we have Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. Now, Promising Young Woman, that was interesting. I'm actually really surprised that it's nominated for the amount of awards that it is, because, I don't know, it just didn't seem like a film that would be nominated for a lot, at least from what I originally heard. I mean, it's a thriller movie. It's kind of like a dark humor revenge film, and it didn't sound like something that would be nominated. But then again, The Joker was nominated for a whole bunch last year, so who knows? I mean, Also, we had Jordan Peele with Get Out get nominated, and so, anything can happen. I'm really glad that there seems to be some kind of branching out with the Oscars of what is considered Best Picture, because, there's always those films that are considered Oscar bait. Like, that something like Mank is going to get nominated because it's about Hollywood, and I think it's about the guy who wrote Citizen Kane. Yes, that's what it's about. We'll talk about that in a little bit of a later section, but I think that it's really fun to see more horror get thrown into the mix, where there's definitely a deeper story than just, scary things happening. So I'm glad that I'm seeing something like Promising Young Woman and something like Get Out be nominated. So then we have Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7, Daniel Kaluuya for Judas and the Black Messiah, Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, Paul Rossi for The Sound of Metal, and Lakeith Stanfield for Judas and the Black Messiah. I know when I saw these nominations come out, I think a lot of people were surprised about that last one. Lakeith Stanfield being nominated, I think that was a surprise that no one saw coming. So very good for him. Really excited to watch that movie. And then we have Best Supporting Actress. And for this, we have Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film, Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy. I know that a lot of people were upset that Hillbilly Elegy didn't get a lot of recognition for the Golden Globes, and I know a lot of people were calling it out, for at least my friends, because I went to school in Kentucky where a lot of these kinds of stereotypes can be seen out, or have something that I have witnessed from the few things that I've seen in the trailer. Again, I haven't seen this one yet, and so I know a lot of people were calling it out, saying that, like, the Academy doesn't like that kind of story because it's not glamorous, it's not fancy, it's not someone who comes from, a poor background but then succeeds or something like that. And so I was really glad to see that Glenn Close got recognition here. It's like, oh my gosh, I was so happy that Kathy Bates got nominated last year, yes, for her role in Richard Jewell, because that movie was fantastic. She made me cry, and I'm so happy that Glenn Close is nominated. Even though the two have nothing to do with each other, it just was, surprising for me, and my book just hit my stand, that's why I was wiggling, and, I loved Kathy Bates in that movie. For Best Original Screenplay, we have Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Promising Young Woman, The Sound of Metal. I keep saying The Sound of Metal. It's just Sound of Metal. I'm sorry. And this is The Trial of the Chicago 7. And then for Best Adapted Screenplay, we have Borat's subsequent movie film, The Father, Nomadland, One Night in Miami, and The White Tiger. Now, I wanted to talk about Mank here because I heard a lot of people on Twitter in the screenwriting field talk about how crazy it is that Mank didn't get nominated for screenplay. I don't know if it would have been original or adapted. I can't say which one it would have been. Again, I didn't see it yet, and so a lot of people were surprised in the screenwriting field about how a movie about a screenwriter couldn't get a nomination for Best Screenplay, and so I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to mention it here when I mentioned the screenplays. Okay, let's go. Okay, Best Animated Feature. Onward, which I have seen, so I've seen one movie on here. That one made me cry 4 times. Onward, Over the Moon, a Shaun the Sheep movie, Farmageddon, Soul, and Wolf Walkers. Now, I feel like Soul's gonna win this one, just because of all the hype I've heard about it. I still haven't seen it yet either, which I know I need to get on, but I'm gonna cry, I already know that, so we'll just wait for that. For production design, we have The Father, Mank, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, News of the World, and Tenet. And so now it's really nice to see something like Tenet on this list, because that was the movie Christopher Nolan was like, this is going to be in theaters. And I know that, it's not safe for some people to go to theaters yet. I know I'm still waiting just because my AMC A-list is extended until July 1st. That's when they'll start charging me again, which I thought was really nice of AMC. They could have just started charging when movie theaters open back up, but they know that that's not accessible to people yet. And so that made me really happy, and I'm definitely going to stick with them now, because when things do get basically better, I can't wait to go back to the movies. But Tenet, was so adamant about this is going to be in theaters. So if you saw it in theaters or if you saw it in a drive-thru, like, I think Christopher Nolan really wanted this experience on the big screen. And so I'm happy that for him, for probably losing out on a lot of money because he wanted it on theaters, was still passionate about just getting it into the theaters. And so he definitely lost money on that. And I think that he knew that the experience for Tenet needed to be on the big screen. And so he's getting some recognition here, and I think that's great. I wish I saw it in theaters. I wish, honestly, just because I was so confused by that trailer, and the more trailers they kept putting out, the more confused I kept getting. I felt like I knew the plot, and then they would release another trailer, and then I'd just be so confused. But anyway, back to this. Costume design. We have Emma, another fantastic movie starring the Queen's Gambit, Anya Taylor-Joy. Oh my gosh, that was another one of the last movies I saw in theaters. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, Mulan, and Pinocchio, which I forgot that they were coming out with another Pinocchio, but it's not run under the Disney label, because I think they're having another Pinocchio come out under the Disney label. Both live action they have been, and so I have to check that one out. I'm really curious about that one. And I do want to see Mulan, because when it first was like announced, and then they said they weren't going to have Mushu, and they weren't going to have like Li Shang, and they weren't going to have songs, I was like, okay, why even recreate it then? And then I saw the trailer, and then I got chills, and I'm like, yes, I can't wait to see it. And then Disney's like, here, we'll put it out, but for $30. I'm like, well, I ain't paying $30 for that. And then I heard it was very mixed, and I'm like, oh, that's so sad, but whatever. Continuing on. Cinematography. For cinematography, we have Sean Bobbitt for Judas and the Black Messiah, Eric Messerschmidt for Mank, Darius Wolski for News of the World, Joshua James Richards for Nomadland, and Pheidon Papa Michael for The Trial of the Chicago 7. For editing, we have The Father, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. I really wanted to see The Trial of the Chicago 7. I saw that trailer, and I'm also a huge Eddie Redmayne fan, and I was like, ooh, this looks good. And I just never got around to it. I don't know why. I was just so bad at trying to watch new things. TV shows, movies, didn't matter. This year, I was just rewatching everything that I've already seen before. For makeup and hairstyling, we have Emma, yes, Hillbilly Elegy, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Mank, and Pinocchio. Sound, we have Greyhound. We have a new one in the mix. Mank, News of the World, Soul, and Sound of Metal. For visual effects, we have Love and Monsters, which that looked like a fun one. I'm going to need to check out. That has Dylan O'Brien in it. He's like the main dude in that. The Midnight Sky, another new one. Mulan, The One and Only Ivan, and Tenet. For best score, we have Da 5 Bloods, Mank, Minari, News of the World, and Soul. I don't really have much to say about these categories, just because there's something I definitely have to experience first. So, for song, we have Husavik from Eurovision Song Contest, Fight for You from Judas and the Black Messiah, Losi from The Life Ahead, Speak Now from One Night in Miami, and Hear My Voice from The Trial of the Chicago 7. For documentary feature, which I do love documentaries, so I can't wait to check these out, we have Collective, Crip Camp, The Mole Agent, My Octopus Teacher, and Time. For international feature, we have Another Round from Denmark, Better Days from Hong Kong, Collective from Romania, The Man Who Sold His Skin from Tunisia, and Konadis Aida from Bosnia and Herzegovina. My senior year of high school, we had to memorize like the location of all of the countries in the world. We break them up by like continents and stuff. And man, I was able to tell you where all of these places were and their national capitals. but I can't do that anymore. I wish I could. Maybe I should start doing that again. I definitely should. Because that was a lot of fun to know, like, where things were. I felt so smart. For animated short, we have Burrow, Genius Loki, If Anything Happens, I Love You, Opera, and Yes People. For documentary short, we have Colette, A Concerto is a Conversation, Do Not Spit, Hunger Ward, and A Love Song for Latasha. And finally, the last category, live action short, we have Feeling Through, The Letter Room, The Present, Two Distinct Strangers, and White Eye. So that's a quick rundown of all the nominees with a few of my opinions thrown in there. Now the fun thing that I'm going to try to do is that I want to watch all of like the best picture nominations and like vlog the experience. I want to try to watch them all in one day, but I know I won't be able to do that, so maybe over a few days and give like my live reactions to you guys. I want to do like moving commentaries on them, just see what I think, and then after watching the rest of them, I'm going to give my predictions video that'll come out right before the time of the Oscars, which is mid-April-ish. So I'm super excited for that. I can't wait to do some live commentary on movies. It's going to be so much fun. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What was your favorite movie this year? Did anything surprise you for what was nominated? Did you think anyone got snubbed for a nomination? Let me know all that down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, keep on gabbing.